Dear Reddit, what's the most "are you kidding me" moment you've ever experienced? I feel bad now that I've had time to distance myself from her because she probably had the confusion that comes with old age. Worked at a gym, knew this girl world be problematic. BC my co-worker gave her the tour. We had an annual fee after 3 months, separate from the startup fee paid that day. I explained this to her. I know my co-worker helped you previously, but I'll just explain it again before I sign you up so there is no confusion. Spend another 45 minutes explaining the prices to her that were explained the previous day. Cool. When we sign the signatures I explain each invoice again. I print out the copy, highlight the invoice amounts and billing dates, and send her on her way. I get an angry call from her 3 months later. She's seething. I explain it is her annual fee. She calls us a corrupt business with hidden fees. I was able to say, "Mom, I don't make commission. I spent an extra hour explaining the prices so you wouldn't be taken aback by the fee. Remember?" She says, well, you said it was 9.99. I've been being charged 10.19. Mom, I explained that too. Remember? Our flyers say 9.99 because that's what we charge you as a company. Our state's sales tax charges you the extra 20 cents. Remember? I printed out your copy for it. I agree with her that it's unfair, and I don't know why the state needs to tax that. I shut down all her complaints, but looking back I feel bad that she was just that confused. I think she was starting to forget things and needed to feel in control. But dang, she was difficult. I'm eating Christmas brunch with my mom, dad, sis, niece, and nephew. Mom says, "Did everyone get their Christmas money?" Sis and her family say yes. I say, lightheartedly, no. Dad grumbles at me, "Well, you don't get any money because you don't celebrate Christmas." We were literally eating the Christmas brunch I made, consisting of a ton of food including filet mignon. Thanks Mom and Dad. Keep insisting she's not your favorite. Ha freaking ha. This one time me and a new co-worker of mine hanging out for the first time. Everything is cool, we watch some It's Always Sunny and then chit chat. Eventually we get to talking about biology and genetics as I studied that. Move on to the theory of evolution and he says, "I don't believe in evolution. If we came from monkeys, why are monkeys still here?" That same old argument. Then he said this, "I think aliens have technology that they can use to successfully alter DNA and they came down and just altered monkeys' DNA and that's how humans were made." I just didn't know how to respond. Last week I forgot my keys inside the house and I didn't find out until I drove all the way home and walked up 3 flights of stairs and couldn't get in the door. So then I realize I need to drive to my husband's job because he won't be home for hours. I drove there, grabbed his keys and I'm on my way back home, and just as I'm unlocking the door my dang phone dings telling me he gave me his car keys too, so I need to come back. So at this point I'm furious because I just worked 9 hours and had wasted over 2 hours in the car due to pure stupidity. What a great day. Just keep your house keys and your car keys on the same ring, you dingus. I used to clean houses. We cleaned a house for a woman who I rarely saw but my boss saw and spoke to often. We were at her home every 2 weeks for the 2 years I worked there. One summer she let my boss know she won't be needing our services for a few months. Flash forward to the fall and she contacted my boss, set up a day for us to come, and when we showed up she acted like she had no idea who we were. Told us she had another cleaning service that was supposed to come and didn't know why we were there. She let us clean that day and we never went back after that. When my 35-year-old friend revealed that he didn't have air conditioning because he thought you had to pay a monthly air conditioning bill. He actually thought there was some sort of cold line they have to hook up. Kinda like a gas line or something. I dunno. The more I think about it, the less sense it makes. Not nearly as intense as others here, but my friends and I still laugh at it today. So my one friend I was in gym class with is huge into weightlifting and sports. Probably the most fit person I've ever met. We were playing field hockey and he of course was kicking everyone's butt at it. So my teacher told him to cool it down a bit so others had a chance to shine. He did because he is a nice guy. 10 minutes later that same teacher kicked him out of class for not trying hard enough. This is the same teacher who yelled at me when 2 of my friends, same guy from the field hockey, who are both a good foot and a half taller than me, stole my shoe and started playing keep away. The frick am I supposed to do? I'm a scrawny short nerd, I have literally no chance of intercepting that shoe. I am a level 2 technical support specialist and it's my job to find out a root cause and deal with it. So this manager assigned me to troubleshoot the customer's problem. Ubuntu won't run DVD movies notebook. The email said, sales has promised me that it will work. My job now is to prove that it will work with our notebook. So what I did was get a system, install Ubuntu and get some proof that our system is indeed able to support a DVD playback. Mind you, this was circa 2003 to 2004, and internet wasn't like today's broadband or even fiber speed. Downloading a 750 megabyte takes about 2-3 hours. And then you gotta burn them into a CD drive. Mind you, USB bootable drive was unheard of, and by the time you finish installing with the media player in, it was already 5 PM. And then I showed him our system can indeed support a running DVD playback. Guess what he said? So you spend the whole day doing nothing but installing Linux and watch a movie? I swear to God, he wasn't joking. It was written all over my year-end review that I am not doing my job. Really, the whole year of 2017 for me started with my dad dying, then my long-term relationships fell apart, totally flaked when I needed emotional support, then a couple months later when I was thinking this year can't get worse, I get appendicitis the day before my birthday. I haven't needed to stay in a hospital since I was like 4 years old and I'm 26. There's more but not worth mentioning. 2018 has been exceptionally good though. 2015 was the same for me. Got pregnant. Found out my mom was dying. Boyfriend dumped me a month later. Mom passed away. Got evicted from my apartment. 2015 freaking sucked. When I was in year 9, our English teacher moved on to a private school and we had a replacement brought in. One day in class she wrote gnome on the whiteboard. Can't remember why, but instead of spelling it correctly she spelled it KNOME. A girl in my class yells out that it's not spelled right. Teacher sends her out of the class for being rude and disrupting the class. So I put my hand up. Conversation ensues like so. Her. What is it? Me. I believe gnome spelled wrong. There isn't a K. Her. It's silent. Me. No, I mean it's a G and the G is silent. Her. Who's the teacher here? Me. UHHU. Her. So it's safe to say I know how to spell gnome. Me. Yeah, but I mean, it is with a G not a K. Her. Get out of my class now. Me and the other girl spend the rest of the lesson in the hallway. Lunch hits and she has the principal come down. They talk all hush about it and I overhear the principal say next time someone decides to be a smart butt send them down to my office. She then comes and tells us our behavior was unacceptable and if we continue behavior like that in any class we'll be suspended. Yeah, but it's still spelled with a G. I was 12 years old, flying with my elderly aunt from US to Greece, with a layover as Paris, France. My only Greek-speaking aunt had, at the time, undiagnosed dementia, and I, a 12-year-old, basically carried all responsibility of taking care of both of us. We had 2 hours to spend in the Paris airport, so I went up to the gate which was marked on my ticket as the one where the plane to Athens was supposed to be. I went up to the attendant and asked to make sure because I'm freaking 12 and never had this kind of responsibility. That piece of crap purposely told me it wasn't this gate and caused us to miss the flight. An adult wouldn't lie, right? I've had a very hard time trusting French folks since that incident because it left such a horrid bitter taste. Of course I try to be nice and give people benefit of the doubt, but goddang that incident really got me. Still makes me mad to this day. Mine is the time when my classmate opened a group chat and put a few people in it who wanted to give our sick teacher a present after graduation. We talked about this present for like 3 weeks and then argued about the rest of our class who didn't want to be part of the gift giving because they're idiots and hate the teacher. We didn't want him to find out though and wanted to pretend it was from the whole class so it won't hurt his feelings. That whole thing was discussed with a lot of dumbass crap you wouldn't want an adult to read. The next morning the guy sends us a text he got from the teacher saying don't worry about the present and he's like, how does he know, and an unknown number answers him probably cause I'm in the group. That idiot put the teacher in the chat on accident and none of us ever noticed, and the teacher never said anything or just left, like every normal person would. Brought a prescription for a sty to the pharmacy. The instructions included apply ointment 1-2 centimeters over the sore. The pharmacist reads the instructions, then incredulously asks me, "Pharmacist, do you even know what a centimeter is?" Me. Yes. Pharmacist, this is America. We use inches here. People who refuse to accept that the metric system is a thing really bother me. Sure, it's not the prevalent system in the States, but most people still know how to use it. I worked at a coffee shop, handed out 2 drinks belonging to the same customer, both iced, and both in transparent plastic cups. One was clear dark brown, black iced coffee, and one was bright green and milky, iced green tea latte. Customer comes up, points to the cups and says which one is the green tea latte. That job taught me that there really are some truly stupid humans on this planet. My friend and I got suspended for watching a fight in school, and they asked us, "Why didn't you break it up?" They then suspended a kid who did break it up for an extra week for being involved in the fight. In my first post-college job, I was talking with a co-worker only to discover they didn't believe in evolution. This was after they said things like, "Well, with evolution you'd have things like cats giving birth to dogs," and I just literally laughed as I thought they were kidding. And then they weren't laughing. I don't even remember how we got onto the topic. The co-worker in question worked with hardware. Company basically dealt with microelectronics, and he has patents in his name. When I realized it wasn't a joke, I stammered out something along the lines of, "What you said is magic, literally the opposite of evolution." He said it was evolution, and he should know he read books. I told him he can't redefine what things are and then say the fake definition doesn't exist. And then another co-worker intervened and had a conversation with me, after we walked away, about how to not freak out in these situations. I was at Job Corps for a while. For those who don't know, think of it as a poor man's trade school. While there, you're required to apply for the voluntary leadership positions. Government run. My particular position was to welcome incoming students and make sure they have everything they need. Then do the paperwork and hand it in. One of my duties was explaining in detail how to make a bed. Most of the time I'd ask, "Dude, do you know how to make a bed?" They require that I show you. Most of the time, they did, and that was the end of it. Except one time. A guy came in who had no idea how. His parents had always done everything for him, including cleaning his room. I found out later from his roommates. He did not understand why he had to clean up after himself. My car was having problems. Spent a bunch of money fixing it. 1 day after it was fixed, got hit. Car totaled. Next day, check the mail. IRS sent letter of audit. I started casually dating a guy that I met on Tinder. My best friend at the time kept going on and on about this awesome guy that she had met at the beach that also happened to live in the same town as us. My new guy informed me his brother met someone at the beach that lived in our town and that they were talking. Have you put it together yet? Small world. I thought that was going to end with them being the same guy and you both were being cheated on. Glad I was wrong. My boyfriend, gay couple, so the stereotype makes this 10x worse, was looking up who the voice actor for Sephiroth from Kingdom Hearts was. He says Lance Space, and I'm like, oh crap, from NSYNC. He has no idea who NSYNC is. We live in America. We're both 90s kids in our mid-20s. I listed off a couple songs and he still had no idea. I've never been so taken aback by something like that. Bye. My friends and I decided to go down to Miami. I didn't book the hotel. One of my friends did. So we asked her to contact the hotel to make sure we still have reservations made because we would be arriving by 5 AM. She told us she did. After spending 9 hours driving down there, the hotel she made the reservation at was actually a bedbug ridden motel, and the receptionist at the motel said the reservation was made yesterday and she didn't know that because she thought they saw her email on the reservation changed instead of just calling them. Long story short, we didn't find a place to stay until 7 PM that day. When a girl I knew stole £70 off my friend using her card but claimed it wasn't her cause the ATM wasn't a 24-hour machine. Here all atoms are 24-hour. Nice try though. tutoring a high school senior to help her improve her ASVAB score. She worked as a cashier at CVS. We came to her practice word problem about counting change. She didn't know how many nickels it takes to make $1. Then she didn't know how many dimes are in $1. Then she didn't know how many quarters are in $1. After explaining that she lacked the basic knowledge to perform her job, she didn't call to schedule a next session. I'm not sure I'd have answered if she had. I had someone ask me where I grew up after hearing my accent. First day of college. Me. Guyana. It's her. Interrupting. OHH. Super cool. I would love to have an African accent. Me. Actually, Guyana is in South America. My accent's a bit Caribbean because it's the only English speaking country there, but no worries. A lot of people get it mixed up with Ghana. I'm pretty sure all of South America speaks Spanish and that Guyana is in Africa. I got a 4.0 in geography in high school. Me. Cool, thanks for letting me know I grew up on the wrong continent my whole life. Ha, who knew? When I was in college I used our student health center instead of a primary doctor because I wasn't close to home anymore. One day I called because I needed an appointment with the women's center, one of the pods within the health center building. I'm taking to the appointment scheduler and she asks for my student number to pull up my information. Standard. Scheduler. Oh, I'm sorry. It appears that you cannot make an appointment since you're male. Me. No, I'm a female. Have been my entire life. I just need an appointment. Scheduler. No, you are male and I won't make an appointment for you. Click. My university apparently had me listed as a male for like 2 years. That was fun to fix. Not the only place it's happened either. Not sure why my first name that is typically a last name automatically makes me a male despite always filling out my demographic forms with my sex identified as female. My car was hit by a guy riding a moped in heavy traffic. He was going way too fast coming up on a red light. He caused a nasty dent in my passenger side door and the facade on the front of his moped was cracked. His belly took most of the impact from the crash and he was walking around right after and seemed to be okay. He starts complaining about how he can't get to where he's going now. I mention that the damage to his moped looks cosmetic and suggest he try turning it on. He stares straight into my eyes and at the same time intentionally breaks the key in the ignition. I'm in my early 20s and this guy is over 40. Are you kidding me? Moment number 1. His next move is to call his mother who tells him to call 911. Alright, that's cool. It seemed like the kind of accident we would just exchange insurance over. If my state required people with mopeds to have insurance, but if he wants to involve the police I'll wait for them to show up. His mother is the first to arrive. She's in a panic. What did I do to her poor baby? She accused me of almost killing her husband. The stress of their son being in an accident had almost caused a heart attack. Are you kidding me? Moment number 2. Then she did something I will never forget. She asked the son where the ambulance was. He told her that it was going to take an hour to get there. She responded by berating him. She calls him an idiot for not lying to them about the severity of his condition because that's how you get them to come faster. And of course, she picks up her phone and calls 911 and makes it seem like her son is going to die on the side of the road if they don't get there. The "are you kidding me" is piling up. Of course an ambulance appears at emergency speed and several EMTs burst out and swarm this guy ready to save his life. Also a cop shows up. He's eyeing me like I might be on the hook for vehicular manslaughter. This is where the "are you kidding me" started to get a little scary. He takes my statement while the EMTs do their work. It feels like an interrogation and he has this air about him like he's determining if I am going to be arrested. At the same time the EMTs are realizing that this guy is far from critical condition. The officer goes over just in time to hear the mom arguing with the EMT about how her son needs an immediate ride to the hospital. I guess she figured I'd be on the hook for the bill. The cop spends about a minute talking to them before coming back to me. The look on his face was priceless. It was a combination of mild embarrassment that he had been taken for a ride by these people and pure bewilderment at how horrible they were behaving. He told me my presence was no longer required and to have a nice day. Oh, and the moped guy was totally wearing a bandana instead of a helmet. I just had a class where I taught school teachers. They acted terribly. Didn't understand what I said the first time I said it. Don't ask a question. Just throw a temper tantrum. Seriously, that's how they acted. I felt like I was teaching a bunch of 10-year-olds rather than 40-year-olds. On a Friday I learned I was losing my job in the shittiest way. The people who were taking over my contract left me a note explaining they would be starting on Monday. No heads up from my employer or the company my contract was with. On Saturday I was present as my grandmother died. She paid me a small amount to help care for her for the previous 6 years and I basically lived there. She was my best bud and watching her die was traumatic. On Sunday I was informed that her house needed to be vacated in 90 days. Having put my life on hold to care for her, I didn't have much to my name and had to move back into my folks' house. On Monday we buried grandma. It was also my 28th birthday. 6 days later she would have made it to 86. Cue the 3-year-long depression. TL. DR. Lost 2 jobs. Best friend grandma and living arrangement over the course of a weekend. Was also my birthday. When me and my ex split, I let her live at our apartment for 1 month until she found something new. I paid for the apartment myself because she didn't make a lot of money. It was a really expensive one in the center of Zurich and I was struggling to pay it by myself. Just to give you an idea of how fricked up it all was. We also had 2 cats. I still have them. I received a call from my landlord that the window in our apartment was open and they were worried the cats are gonna fall out of there. I went and checked it out. I can't believe my eyes. My cats were not fed for a while. I left her $500 to take care of them while I was gone. The money was gone as well. My ex was nowhere to be found and the iron for pressing clothes was on and fully heated on the ironing board. It was really hot in there. I called her and asked her where she was. She was at another dude's place and just stayed there and partied with the money I gave her. Also the kitchen was full of maggots and rusted pans. I was shocked. I instantly told her to go and frick herself and moved back in. She now lives at a squat somewhere, doesn't pay for crap and is wanted by the government for not paying her bills. I wasn't the perfect boyfriend by any means, but my cat did not deserve this. Not me, but my supervisor at work told me this story and it's too hilarious not to share. I guess she had an iPhone that was a couple years old but like 6 months shy of being able to upgrade it when she broke the screen. She decided whatever and just dealt with the broken screen, which, knowing her, must have driven her crazy for 6 months. Finally she went in to upgrade and spent like an hour and a half with the sales guy and her 2 young boys working out the upgrade. After settling everything, the sales guy was like, "Oh hey, mind if I take the screen protector off your old phone?" and proceeded to remove the shattered screen protector and reveal a perfectly intact phone underneath it. This was pretty recent. I have a friend who is very antisocial and spends a lot of time in his house playing video games and I have to go drag him out to do stuff. I recently texted him about if he wanted to do anything, and the text I got back was playing Persona 5 currently. I will respond when I'm done. This text was sent through the distracted driving app. 2 things. Number 1 is a bus that drives a route that I would drive to my old school. On more than one occasion, I pull up behind a bus to a different school and the bus stops to let out, I kid you not, 36 plus children. I've counted in previous years and it was 32 or something, but this time it just kept going. Just when you think there couldn't possibly be any more kids, here come some more. The other is when I was getting the runaround trying to get a minor in college. You want the minor? Your classes match up. Take the sheet to X building. Take the sheet to X building. It gets sent to the person who needs to see it but refuses to sign it because it didn't come to him directly first. So I try to take it to him only to be told, "Well, this isn't in my department anyway. You need to take it somewhere else." Okay, can you tell me where that is? I don't know. So I run around some more. Find the building. Get told the chick won't return till for another few days. Wait some more. Go to see why she hadn't signed it. Get told this is the wrong department again and to take it somewhere else. I figure it out. Take it to them. "Oh, so and so is in a meeting. But I'll give it to her. You don't need to worry about it anymore." Awesome. I call back. Paper not signed. Say it will be signed by Monday. The due date is Wednesday or I don't get the minor. I come back Monday, take the paper, go to the registration office, turn it in, and wait. Still no update on the minor. Call the office. Oh, we were training the new people. It should have been done by now. It'll be done by tomorrow. Tomorrow comes. Nothing. Go back to the office. Get told that I don't meet the requirements and get told to go back to the first person I started with, not the jerk. I say he couldn't do anything, but they say he can. So I go back there. He say he can't do anything. I tell him I've been told otherwise. He makes some calls. Finally gets in touch with people telling him, "Sir, you need to get in touch with the head of the miner." Gets response, "I am the head of this miner and I'm telling you, I can't do anything here." More talk, until he hangs up and makes disgruntled noises. No one in this flipping college doesn't know anything if it's not in their department. URRRGH. Finally he tells me to go home and that it will be resolved by sundown. If it isn't, let him know. He'll fix it. You've been through enough. 20 minutes later I have the miner. Then I found out I got shingles from all the stress. Are you kidding me? If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video. Bye for now.